John Paul, Patty's brother. I do just want to start off by thanking Mayor Annie and the community. It's been the one thing that's made it a little bit easier. I've been coming here ever since Patty moved here. I come at least once or twice a year. We're city boys, and when he first told me he was moving to Cripple Creek and I first came here, I was like, okay, it's cool, it's beautiful, but what are you gonna do here? But I always loved coming here, and then having this happening now, it's like, it makes total sense. Like, this was the place for him to raise his son. The community here is special. You should all feel very proud of your community. I'll never forget what everyone has done here for us these past few days. I wanted to write up, something really nice, but I was afraid that I'd just be teary-eyed and wouldn't even be able to look at it, so I figured I'd just speak from the heart. I tried to think of my earliest memory of Patty, and the first thing I can remember is us playing football in the living room. Again, both of us always loved football, baseball, sports in general. Patty's about 4 years older than me, and I was maybe 4 or 5 years old at the time, and he would always get down on his knees to play me in football, so we'd be about the same height. We played tackle football, we played rough, and looking back on it now, is like, man, yeah, you were on your knees to be the same height, but how am I ever supposed to tackle you or run over you when you're on your knees? You got all the advantage. Another memory that really stuck out to me was, I was always Patty's, when he was in high school playing football, I was the ball boy. I went everywhere Patty went, so he played football in high school, I was the ball boy. I was at all his practices, and I distinctly remember a time being at an away game. He was number 35, and I'm standing there, with the ball of the other team, and I hear the coach call out a play that I know is going to him. He's the tight end at the time. So my dad was on the sidelines too. I ran over to my dad. Dad, they just called Patty's play. They're throwing it to him. And they run the play, throw it to him. He catches it for probably 12, 15 yards, and it was just it's another very distinct memory I have that I'll never forget. I was so proud of him making that play, making that catch. Me and Patty, we just have so many memories together. My mom always told me you always wanted a little brother, and you guys didn't know, I'm one of 8. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers, and we lost our oldest brother about 8 years ago, and I remember us sitting in the car after we got to Arizona together, and me and Patty, we think a lot alike, and we both looked at each other like, this sucks, but fuck, I'm glad it's not you. I don't think I could deal with it if it was you. And I've since then lost my oldest brother and my dad, and this hurts 10 times worse. It's like losing 10 family members, not one. And for all of you that know Patty, you understand that. He was just that kind of guy. And someone mentioned earlier, about Patty and Patty being an amazing dad. The one thing I always envied of Patty and was always jealous of is I consider myself to be a really good guy. We had amazing parents. We were raised right. And there's been so many times throughout life where I've seen Patty do or say something, and I've been like, I would have never done or said that. He made me at times feel like a bad person because he was that good of a person. A couple of his friends told me the same thing about him being a dad. It's like, man, I thought I was a really good dad, and then I'm around Patty, I see the way he is around his kid, and he's like, man, I could be such a better father. That's who Patty was. That's why Patty was special. And it all just came so naturally to him. He didn't have to think about what was right. He didn't have to think about what to do or what to say. He just did it. And none of us are perfect. Patty had his ups and downs too, his struggles, and that was one of the things I loved about him too, was a couple years he was struggling. I'm so glad I came out here last July to spend time with him, because I told him how proud I was of him, how hard he worked to get himself, pick himself back up and be the best version of himself he could be for himself and Anthony. But prior to that, I had a hard conversation with him about things that I thought he needed to work on. I feel like any of us out there, especially from your little brother, starts telling you, how to live your life, how to be a better dad, you can just shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me about how to be a dad. Don't talk to me how to live. But that wasn't Patty. He would never in a million years say that to anybody. He just listened, be like, all right, and then he'd go about his day and try to make his changes. And again, that was just Patty. He was special. I'm going to miss him so terribly much. I don't know if I'd be up here today. I do believe in a spirit and a soul. I don't know what religion is right. I don't think we have to believe a religion is right. I believe that there is something, and that we all will see Patty again someday, and I'm super grateful. I believe things in weird ways work out for a reason. It's hard to wrap your head around how this will work out for the best in the end, but we do have to have faith that it will. And for some reason, the last couple years, I've been doing a lot of research and watching a lot of videos on spirituality, meditation, self-reflection. And it's like I knew I had to prepare for this day. And if I hadn't done those things over the last few years, I wouldn't even be able to stand here and talk to you today. It's like I knew that sadly this day would come, and I needed to make those changes in my life to be a stronger person spiritually, and to be able to self-reflect and look at things from an outside perspective. So those are my thoughts and beliefs. I believe that this, will all work out in the end, that Patty's in a better place. And I'm so happy that you, the community, it makes me feel so much better to know that there's two things we can do now. We can remember Patty, and we can help take care of Patty's son. And I know that this community is going to help me do that. And I thank you so much for that. I do love you, Patty. I'll never forget you. And I guess that's his cue that it's time to go.